Thanks for listening. This is Brian Hurley from Business Performance Improvement. The podcast Lean Six Sigma Bursts are short lessons, comments, Q&A, and insights. If you have a question, send your question through the Anchor app, and we might feature you on a future episode. Or contact me at biz-pi.com. The idea was that if we could quantify the quality impacts, that will help raise the visibility to these problems and get it on the radar of management so that we can basically speak the language of management, which is money. We learned about this through Philip Crosby's work. He did a lot of work around price of nonconformance, I think he called it, so we modified it a little bit. It's also been called cost of poor quality. And so the idea would be look at things like warranty claims. And those are financial numbers you can pull to see how many warranties were fulfilled or accredited, and look at the dollars. But it's not just the warranty dollars, it's all the labor and work that goes around that. If you spent $100,000 in warranty, maybe there's another $50,000 in paperwork and documentation and labor and resources that went into it. And so we want to capture 150, not just the 100,000. Also looked at things like service bulletins, which were kind of notifications that there's issues or things to be concerned about, or recalls, that type of thing. There's a cost associated with that, but it's also not the full picture. We also looked at things like test yield and failures. And so we end up coming up with 3 buckets of where the dollars would be allocated depending on where the problem was found. So if you found a problem in inspection in the factory, then it would be applied I think it was like $2 or something like that. And that was just an estimate that they came up with over some kind of a sampling initiative where they would collect up how much time it takes to fix a soldering problem. And then they would average that out. And they said about $2 worth of labor to fix a defect. And so in our system, they would look at where was a defect found, and that would get assigned a dollar amount for how many there were. In reality, $2 sounds really, really, really small, but that was a number they came up with. It was something. Then they looked at if it got to the subassembly stage, I think there was a $30 hit on it, or $50 per repair because it's further along in the process. And then if it failed all the way at final, before it got to the customer, then you would get applied $100 or $150. And I think even depended on if you were an off-site or if you were in a major site for the labor differential costs. The nice thing was they could run reports, and instead of showing a quality report of how many defects they had, they would produce a cost of nonconformance report. And that would show we spent this much money on quality issues, dealing and repairing and fixing them. And even those numbers, I don't think they really encompassed all the waste. We actually were proposing maybe switching to cost of waste, COW, but that's kind of a weird acronym, COW, or something like that, to really try to get at some of the other wastes in our process. So we look at our 8 types of waste. We did have some things around inventory. I think you could try to capture some extra paperwork and processing and labor that goes around inventory instead of just the raw number. So that was missing. If you looked at transportation, that could be looked at and quantified in some way. If we looked at the flow of orders and then said each of these orders that was made, there was a certain amount of travel involved, or this many deliveries to the facility, and there's how much transportation from one facility to another. So those types of things could be looked at. The defects is already kind of covered under the cost of nonconformance, but there's other types of waste that we could try and quantify as well. So the whole idea is if you can take any of the wastes in our process and try to turn it into a dollar estimate, that will help you get attention to the problems that are really affecting the business. And that will get more effort put at looking at the right types of opportunities in your business instead of the standard profit and loss statements and the standard financial reports that companies go off of. That's a snapshot, and it's an interesting snapshot, and then there is some good information in there, but it doesn't tell the whole picture. So think about ways that you can turn the waste you see in your processes into dollars and show the report in terms of dollars so that it gets the attention of the management, who can go off and assign teams or even ask for help on how to solve that. So hope you found that useful. If you have questions or need help with that, please reach out. You can post your questions in the Anchor app, and I'll respond in a future episode. Thanks. Want to better organize your work area or bring 5S methods into your organization? Check out the 5S Guide from Creative Safety Supply. You also get 3 free bonuses. Bonus number 1, free 5S poster. Bonus number 2, free 5S PowerPoint. And bonus number 3, free 5S audit card. Go to lean6sigmaforgood.com/5S for the free downloads. They also provide floor tape markings, labels, signs, foam tool organizers, red tags, label printers, and other organization tools. Make sure you use code BPI at checkout to save 10%.